What's up, party people?
Hey, Master Jedi, how are you?
Fantastic. How are you doing?
Good.
I saw your new intro video. It's pretty sick.
Andre did that for us. It's pretty awesome. I was pretty excited.
Well done, Andre. We might have to chat about some video stuff. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think he would enjoy that. He's a admirer of yours.
Oh, well, I'm an admirer of his now too. So there you go.
Awesome. Let me get in here so I can start the recording real quick. Make sure we have that situated.
You're right.
Okay, it looks good. Oop. I don't know if you guys can hear my dogs. You're welcome. Okay,
Not
okay.
so far.
No, that's good because yeah, they're must be playing upstairs, so that's always good times. Um, if you guys could spam the channels for me for the AMA, I would appreciate it. I know not everyone will be able to attend, but good news is we have the YouTube now for everyone, which has been pretty popular actually. We've had quite a few views. I was very impressed with how well it's working so far. How are you doing, Val?
Doing great. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, sounds good.
I'm just hanging out.
All right.
Give it a few more minutes, then we'll get started. So Andre said that we have over 350 views on there for the last 3 AMAs. So that's pretty awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
I mean, I guess we can go ahead and get started. Let's see, we'll go over the progress report basically from our side, and then I'll let you do your part, Master Jedi. Let's see.
All right.
Okay, so updates on the progress report so far of what is being worked on. So the LP migration has been completed. Jedi has been doing some serious work on Circle, and he'll get into the details for that for you guys. Weekly progress reports, obviously, you guys know are happening. AMAs as well. Let's see. We've got the update for Discord has been going pretty well. We've had some input from community members on how to make it more interactive or easy to work with. So, for example, the show vault, Andre had suggested doing it as a forum, and then that way the different weeks can, or different subjects as far as the Twitter media can be separated out for you guys, make it easier for them. Renix had suggested doing something similar for the meme competition. That way it can be separated by weeks, and then we can look at doing a monthly or yearly contest with those as well. So that's going to be pretty exciting. I know the event for the first 10 to 10 to get $10 in Lunar is going well. We've had 2 people claim so far, so there is still 8 spots left. Directors do not count towards the awards. So you can just ignore mine. I'm just here because, I love you guys. So let's see. We are working on frequently asked questions for Circle, kind of playing around those things. So if you guys can put questions for in the AMA section, we can get those ones answered for you and get those added. That way you guys kind of have a place to go for more information, because I know it gets kind of lost in chat sometimes, or if you don't have time to review the whole AMA, things like that, make it easier for you guys. I think for the most part, that is all on our side. If you want to go ahead and go over yours, Jedi, that would be amazing.
Yeah, so update on Circle. So we've been working really hard on getting Circle squared away. As tends to happen in software development, we ran into an issue on Circle's side that we're currently trying to get worked out. Essentially, they have not implemented the OAuth 2 protocol correctly. And that means that when we use the new code that we launched this week to connect and check your wallet balance. If you don't have the right wallet balance in the system, they're not displaying the error messages that come back from the login provider. Um, And it's been a challenge to get them to understand that it's not a problem on our end. It's a problem with how they've implemented SSO logins or single sign-on logins between all the different providers they support. So we're working with them to get that resolved. So right now, if you don't have the right Lunar, or if anything happens with the login process and it doesn't log you in, it just redirects you back to a blank login page with like no information on what's going on, which is not ideal. So we're working on getting that fixed. Um, I don't want to wait too much longer, so the dev team is looking at options to try to launch anyways. The challenge that we have right now is, and like we need to talk about this as a foundation, but just from my personal perspective, because you have to have LNR to be a DAO member. Personally, I don't want anybody in there that doesn't own LNR. So like just having regular circle signups and letting anybody sign up for us is not really an option, or at least for me is not really an option. We'll have to talk about how that fits in with the wider community, but I really want to get this thing launched as soon as possible. So we're just everybody know we're working on it. I would love to be able to share some like sneak peeks on that. So we'll chat with the team and see if we can't share a sneak peek in the next day or two on what it looks like. But I'm very excited. We've broken up just as an example, the lit protocol document. We've broken up throughout the process, so you're going to be able to watch proposals move from the idea phase to know which phase everything is in. We're going to move those posts through the process and you'll be able to see them all and how they're working. We're going to have FAQs in there. There's going to be chat in there. At some point, we want to be able to have a course on what is a DAO and how to be a good DAO member, stuff like that. So I'm really excited about it. I'm going to be glad to have a place where we can keep the conversation more focused and let our other community channels be community channels. I'm so excited about that. On other fronts, a lot of documentation is being generated right now. We've got some adjustments that need to be made to the contracts. We've got, especially with OpenSea having launched and being on there now, there are potentially changes that we need to make to the 721 contracts to be able to support our taxes. So we're analyzing that situation. I know there were just some controversial changes from OpenSea about how they enforce their creator royalty structure. So we want to make sure that we are doing the right thing there to be able to make sure that our multi-chain NFTs are supported properly. There are requirements for those tokens on Ethereum that will be requirements on our tokens come, I believe it was either January or March. So I want to make sure that we are staying on top of that. And we're working on a number of draft lips that I hope we will be able to share within the next few days. Lots of good stuff happening on the tech side. Hopefully you guys saw our first public code release of the Web3 for Auth0 actions. That's the code we're using to help check your wallet balance when you log in. We anticipate and I look forward to publishing that in the Auth0 marketplace, which will give a lot of visibility to the Lunar project. We've done lots of little things to make sure you know it's Lunar throughout that process, including logging brought to you by, or writing brought to you by the Lunar DAO and the Lunar Foundation in the logs when you sign in. So developers can see the stuff that we're building. Those types of ways to gain visibility are going to be important for growing the developer ecosystem around what we're building. So just know that as we're building through those things, that we're always looking at how are we going to leverage word of mouth marketing and visibility to gain traction. That's about it for now. I know there was a bunch of other stuff in the update. Hopefully you all had a chance to read that. Please stay on top of those. They go out every Monday morning, and we try our best to be pretty thorough about that process. I guess the last thing I can mention is that we're evaluating making more of the development process visible to the rest of the community. You saw that in the Auth0 launch that we um, changed the GitHub URL to the Lunar Foundation. You can expect that there will be more stuff there soon. And we're going to hopefully have some more visibility for everybody on what that looks like. No timelines or ETAs on that, but we'll have more to share soon. I think that's it for the main updates.
Awesome. I appreciate it. So I'm sure a lot of you guys are also wondering what like the status is of the facility deal. So we have been in contact with them, and they are basically still reviewing things with their legal department and their tech department, kind of things like that. So we're just waiting to hear more information from them as of right now. We haven't heard back from the Binance Industry Recovery Fund as of yet, but that's, as far as I know, is what I've seen is very common. So they've got a lot to go through, so many applications, so many different things. So I expect that will take a while still. Let's see. I guess go ahead and get started on the AMA questions. And if there's any in chat, if you guys can ping me, then we'll get in there on that. So I know we were doing some research on the migration and the burn information. Did we get an answer from Moonshot on that?
Yeah, so we're going to have a lip on the burn. We need to talk about it internally first. I have all the information that I need. He's putting together a few more things for us on pros and cons so that we can have a proper proposal out there and explain what the best options are going to be for the group. So we'll be able to share more details on that hopefully soon.
Awesome. So AK Crypto, that is in process. And once we have more information, we will get that to you, to everybody.
Yep.
Next question would be from Jack. He wants to know if a vote would be necessary to relock liquidity when it unlocks in a couple days on the 10th. If not, how long will the directors be locking it? So as far as that goes, any of those kinds of things will have to go through the LIP process and be voted on and discussed. So that would be up to Lunar as the foundation, and we'll look at different possibilities, put those in there and then take feedback from the community like normal. So honestly, it's up to the DAO, and we'll just do our best to give the pros and cons like normal and make that an educated decision. Next one is Travers. He's asking, do we know what's going on with the NFTs from previous competitions? It sounded like we were close before changing to the DAO. So you're talking about the faction NFTs, I'm assuming, and the contests?
I would imagine that's the case. Yeah. So the NFT Expoverse, the factions, all that good stuff. So so the NFTs themselves are not necessarily that difficult to put together, but in the process, so that everybody understands, they're not going to be Genesis crystals, and they're not on the Genesis contract. So it's a brand new NFT contract that has to go out, be able to be deployed and be supported. And then each like season of the NFTs that were out are different. They have different metadata, they have different setups, they're different from the Expoverse NFTs. And so because it's not like a generative collection, and it's also not a collection like the Genesis crystals, it required a little bit different approach to be able to manage those. And we have like built those features into the roadmap for the minting platform. So the minting platform is going to have an update on the management backend to be able to create and distribute these NFTs. because they're essentially being airdropped and not purchased. There's a slightly different approach to getting them awarded to everybody. And so we don't have an ETA on when that release will be out the door yet, but we are currently doing the rest of the requirements gathering to be able to have a timeline. So we'll have more information on what's going on there soon. We need to have our ducks in a row and complete since some DAO stuff, the DAO happened, stuff changed. We were in the middle of development on that cycle when that transition happened. So we need to we're in the process of reassessing what needs to be done in order to get that out the door. So I have more details on that soon.
Awesome. We appreciate it. I know one of the common questions is if we plan on doing a roadmap or sticking to previous things. So, I mean, as far as that goes, Master Jedi, are you planning on doing a roadmap?
No, I think we're just gonna wing it from here on out. I don't know that anybody wants to know. Yeah, I'm just kidding. We are definitely working on a roadmap. Just so that everybody gets a little insight into how we think about this. I tend to be fairly strategic about features and the development process in order to get the biggest bang for our buck whenever we do something. So just as an example, like the circle stuff and being able to check your wallet balance, like knowing when you log in if you have Lunar or not is a major component of the Lunar account feature set. When you go to log into the app platform to be able to buy tokens, like we want to be able to do things for you as a user if we know that you possess our tokens. And so it provided an opportunity for us to be able to kill a few birds with one stone and get that stuff squared away. And what's coming up with the NFT minting platform and the creator ability for creators to use our technology to provide a branded experience for their tokens. We're always looking at how the features that we need for, say, the award NFTs will also be used in other ways. And so moving through, what the new world looks like, since the last time we put that white paper together, the market is dramatically different. The ecosystem is dramatically different. The tokenomics of a bear market versus a bull market are dramatically different. And so the new strategy and roadmap takes time. We spent 3 months working on that strategy between January and March when we first put out the white paper, and then when we decided to roll the token strategy a little bit differently. So it does take a little bit of time to get this stuff put together. Do understand also that we have a compressed time frame to work through with our current runway. So we do want to have something that's strategically sound and makes sense and can get non-token revenue in the door soon. So I would love to have that process done and be talking about that soon. I can't give any specifics on timelines yet, but know that we are working on it and it is coming. I don't know that you'll see a new white paper before the end of the year because a white paper is like a massive writing effort. But we do want to have a guideline of where we want to be over the next 12 months. And then I would imagine that into the beginning part of next year that we'll be working on the white paper.
Awesome. That's exciting. We appreciate that. Are there any more questions from you guys that you guys want answered? You can put them in main and tag me or in the AMA questions section.
Well, I know there were some questions this week about the app and the platform, and I know we've seen some pretty consistent questions from fudders and whatnot about like, hey, why hasn't this team shipped anything? Where are we at on the platform? So I just wanted to take a second while we're here and talk about the app platform and talk about why there's been a lot of focus on the NFTs and why OpenSea kind of opens up some new opportunities for us. So when you think about what we're building and the ecosystem that we're putting together, and I've mentioned this before, I'm going to mention it again. We as a dev team, and I don't mean when we talk about the developers, I want to be crystal clear. Like the developers are not Spaceman and Moonshot. The developers are me and the dev team. So when the dev team came at this project, we'd never worked in crypto before in any meaningful way. We were all enthusiasts, but not builders. And so when you start thinking about all the technology that my team had that we could bring to bear on this ecosystem and figuring out like how are we going to build workable systems, the NFT launch was really our first attempt at being able to say, hey, can we connect to smart contracts? Can we execute things on smart contracts? Can we deal with all the BS in the ecosystem and the lack of tools and the lack of documentation and all that? And, you know, a fair number of you were with us on that journey as we made a few stumbles. That's how software development works. You have to get used to and not be afraid of failure. And so when we thought about what are you really building when you build this platform, when you build a multi-wallet, when you build out a trading platform, what you're really building is a way to buy tokens through software. And buying tokens means executing actions on a smart contract. And so you might say, well, why did we choose NFTs over buying LNR? And that's because we needed to be able to migrate the token, the LNR token, in order to be able to build, to get on a new contract that let us upgrade it in the future and add more functionality to the system than what was already there. And as you saw, because we did it just a little earlier than we probably could have, the liquidity pool and when the liquidity pool locks and unlocks had a pretty significant impact on that process, because the original contract was not upgradable. So if you can't move the liquidity pool until it unlocks unless you want to create a brand new one. And in a bull market, you've got the resources to create a new liquidity pool. In a bear market, you don't. So that was the challenge around timing of the migration. So because we couldn't do that migration when we wanted to, we looked at the situation. We're like, hey, an NFT is just buying a token. Taking LNR is just buying a token. So if as a team we need to prove we can buy tokens, let's prove we can do that on a brand new contract that has a one-time or like a purchase opportunity. It has some value, it has some utility, it has some art with it. And let's focus on being able to make sure the platform can buy a token there. And then once you prove that, you can expand it to buying other types of tokens, because we've proven all that out. And so the NFT platform that we have proved that you could execute a multi-chain transaction that interacts with multiple contract operations at different security levels to execute a transaction. And that is super critical to building out the platform. If you can't do that, you can't do anything. And are you crystal clear about that? And so in a situation where, as people new to crypto, not new to software development, but new to crypto, and new to Solidity, we wanted to make sure that we didn't do something that would potentially lock millions of dollars on the LNR contract, never to be seen again. We wanted to be able to get our teeth sharpened and our hands dirty on a Solidity contract where if we made a mistake, it would be relatively easy to fix. And that was with the NFTs. And regardless of what people say about, well, we didn't ship it, this project hasn't shipped anything. We've shipped software. We've shipped 2 highly audited contracts, and then that's software, right? So we've shipped that out the door. It's going to be open source here soon. And we shipped the minting platform, which is a token purchasing platform. So within those processes, we proved out that the dev team can not only get ramped up quickly and can build software and deploy it predictably, we also proved that we can write great Solidity code that then went on to do the new LNR contract, which was rated 99 out of 100 in our audit. And so, like, I just want to, like, reinforcing that stuff about strategy, reinforcing that stuff about, like, looking into the future and how do you do the biggest bang for your buck stuff. Like, just speaking candidly, like, the community, the internet at large can poo-poo NFTs all you want. A digital representation of an asset is the future of all of this stuff. And we are able to take advantage of a market where not many people are playing and build out our niche. And that's important. When you look at the Binance MVB program and our application last time around, there was a ton of competition in the space that we applied in. If you go back and look at who was awarded spots, there were only 1 or 2 awards in the NFT category. And so this time around, with the next set that's launching, and as we do our application, because we can focus that application in a spot where not many people are playing, it significantly increases our chances of actually getting into the program. And so, like, the fact that this is on YouTube and other people can listen, we've got it archived. Like, I want to be able to refer back to this. I want you guys to be able to remember, like, we're building everything that we're building for a reason. And if this team is good at anything besides software, it's at what do you need to do strategically to get the biggest bang for the investment that you're making in the strategy and direction. And I can assure you, and hopefully as we publish more things and you folks can start to connect the dots, you can see that we are building the bare minimum. It's called a minimum viable product to get into the marketplace and generate the type of revenue that we need that does not rely on tokenomics. Because as everybody's seen in this market, like, everybody loves everybody when the market is doing well. And as soon as the market turns south, people start turning south too. And we want to make sure that we are a real business and that we're building a real legitimate thing and not just a Dogecoin, not just some kind of crap coin that's only purpose is to moon. That's not why we're here. So I hope that helps give some background. I know it's a little longer than I anticipated talking, but I want everybody to know, like, these are the reasons why we do what we do, why we build what we build, because you have to build this in the right way to be able to make sure it's going to survive the challenges that are in the marketplace right now. And I hope that helps.
It does. I don't think any of us mind when you go on your explanations for a bit. We just get more bullish every time you do that. So I don't think anyone would complain. Are there any other questions, anything from the audience that we can address while you guys are here? If not, you guys can always put it in the AMA section and we'll be sure and get that answered for you. I do see Shepard in the audience, and I just want to say I had the pleasure of during some of the meetings for strategy to meet him, and he's awesome. So even more bullish. So he works hard, and so does Master Jedi. I wish that I could explain how much that they do. I mean, it's just, honestly, it's amazing, and we appreciate them. So
We appreciate you guys for sure. Shepard is a beast.
Mm.
He's probably working on more documentation right now. So yeah, very excited.
Awesome. All right. Well, I guess if you guys don't have anything further for us, we'll go ahead and let you, unless you have
Hefe's
any.
got his hand raised.
Oh, Hefe, of course. Let's get you up here.
What's up, Doc?
He's coming slowly but surely.
All right, I'm up here. People have been asking in TG and stuff. Last time we had the AMA, it was clear we had funds for the dev team past January. Do we know how long we actually have funds for that will cover the roadmap, or is that something we can talk about at this point? Or I know that's a loaded question there, but people have been asking, so I thought I'd throw it out there.
I'll take this one on. So it's not so much a question of if we have the funds, it's where we're getting the funds from. So you can see on BSC scan, if you look at the Lunar token, we've got roughly 24 million tokens in the treasury. So that can be a place where we could get funding for extending out the contract for the dev team. It would probably not be a very good one, but it is an option. We might get this Binance Recovery Fund. We might get the Binance MBB. We may get a facility deal. There are quite a few options that are on the outside of this project that are going to be things that we're chasing down. So we have funding to do this. We would like to have better options of extending this out and helping us get to where we want to go in the short term and in the long term. So those things will be coming to a discussion and a proposal as soon as they are ready and have been reviewed. We can't offer up anything to proposal for any of you until we've had legal review of it. Just like if anyone else wants to propose something before it goes to a vote, we have to get legal review no matter what it is. So the long answer is, as soon as we know, we will let you know, and then you can tell us what you want to do with it.
Did that
Yeah,
answer?
just-
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
And just to reiterate, there are multiple options, right? It is in business, in fundraising, in closing deals, and in sales, you cannot put all your eggs in one basket. You have to have enough deal flow that you're not relying on any one yes or no. And so we've put our eggs in a lot of baskets. We're chasing a lot of crap down. And we're constantly working to make sure that there are no corners backed into within that process, and also no stone unturned. So the challenge with any kind of external investment is that you're at the mercy of the decision makers. Any kind of deal getting done, like, you got to be real careful with how you shepherd that process along. So we're doing those things, and we're excited to be able to share them with you when we can.
Okay, thank you. I knew we had money past it. So the timeline isn't really as important, and there's plenty of money locked up still. I understand that we want better choices for funding and not dipping into our assets and stuff to do it. Cool. So we're good to go for a while, and that makes sense. That was it. So anyone that's been asking in TG, we've got funding for a while.
Thank you, Hefe. We appreciate you asking those questions for us. Anyone else like to come up here? Not so far. Any other hands? Well, then I guess I will go ahead and draw this AMA to a close. We appreciate you guys attending, and appreciate you guys allowing us to push it back a day. Life happens. So I'm glad that you guys could still make it. So thank you again. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
You too. Take it easy, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.